Welcome to Judge Tower. We each have 3 cards in our hands. Put your hand over the button. Whenever you see a rules infraction, you press it.
And do we have any lands?
Oh, that's the fun thing about Judge Tower. We have infinite mana.
Infinite?
You can play anything you want. So Ralph, you have the stage.
I'll draw a card.
You had priority and didn't cost an instant.
So while you do have infinite mana in this game, which is great, you have to spend it at every opportunity.
Which means that instant speed spells and flash spells will get you killed in your upkeep if you don't cast them, just like Torolf did.
Exactly.
I don't have any instants. I'll draw. I'll play a Primitive Etchings. I have infinite mana. I can. I will play a Mirari. Whenever I play an instant or sorcery spell, I may pay 3. If I do, I copy that spell. I may choose new targets for the copy. This is not an instant or sorcery. I play a Necrotic Ooze. As long as it's on the battlefield, it has all activated abilities of all creatures and all cards in all graveyards. You may have a look.
Sure.
I'll pass the turn. What have I
You
done?
didn't cast Sharing Edict.
But you guys have no creatures.
But you have a creature and it's target player, and also you can still target me if I don't have a creature that says target player.
Well played.
Man, you seem born for this game. So even if a spell doesn't seem like it's great in a situation, or even it accomplishes nothing, if you technically can cast it, you have to.
So in this case, Carl had the Edict, which can target any player. Doesn't matter if you have a creature in play, because how Edicts work, and that's what got him killed.
My turn, upkeep, I don't have anything, draw. I will cast Hatching Plans, which will resolve. I'll cast a Frontline Medic, which will resolve. I'll cast a Skurzdak High Priest and a Baton of Morale, which gives creatures banding. So I will activate this Baton, targeting the Skurzdak High Priest, and in response to itself, I'll activate it targeting my Frontline Medic.
An idiosyncrasy of this particular format is that you can't activate the activated ability of a card until the following turn cycle if you already activated it. You can't do it twice in a row. So in order to avoid loops in the game, anything where you can sink your mana into or do multiple times, equip costs, activate abilities, buyback on a buyback spell, you can only do that once until you get around to that point in time again in the turn cycle. So it's a bit of a memory game.
Yep, so I couldn't have activated that thing
No.
twice, exactly one after the other. I would have had to wait 4 turns in total, and then I could activate it again.
Yes.
That was just the practice round, and here are the stakes, Vince. Because if ever you catch someone breaking the rules, and you press the button, they are out for this round. But if you were wrong, and they were abiding the rules like a law-abiding citizen, you are out of that round yourself. Thank you, Taralf. Very good. Round 1, first to survive 2 rounds, wins the whole thing. Taralf,
I'll pass an upkeep.
I'll put a Thought Scour on the stack. You will mill 2 cards.
Rude.
And I will draw a card. But before anyone has anything else to say, I will put a Grixis Charm on the stack. I'll choose one, either return target permanent to its owner's hand, or target creature gets -4/-4 until end of turn, or creatures you control get +2/+0 until end of turn. I'll choose the creatures I control. All of them.
Well done, they all have +2/+0.
Ah, well, it's still on the stack.
It has not resolved. Is that? Do I hit the buzzer because you got it wrong?
Yaman's jokes don't use the stack.
Okay, sure.
My creatures have +2/+0.
Strong.
You will mill 2 cards.
I will. 1. By the way, we share a graveyard, but everybody knew that already. A Garrick's Hoard and a Gates Mission.
You need to draw a card.
I know.
Okay, good.
This is the scariest moment in Judge Tower. We're good.
I draw a card.
We've
right?
survived your upkeep.
Yeah. Doesn't happen often. I'll draw a card. I'm going to cast a Windfall. Windfall says everybody discards their cards and draws to equal to the number of the greatest number discarded, which is 3.
All right.
With my newly fresh hand, I will cast a Yawgmoth's Agenda.
I would like to respond. You get 3 damage.
Me? Again?
So for context, everybody starts every round with 20 life.
They reset every turn.
Yeah.
Before, I can't let the damage happen. That's just a no-go. I'd like to flash in a Horizon Chimera that is a 3/2 flying trample that gives me 1 life whenever I draw a card.
That resolves.
All right.
That resolves. Ow. Do you like to proliferate?
I will not add any counters on anything.
Wise choice. Agenda resolves. You may not play more than 1 spell each turn.
Oh, convenient.
You may play cards from your graveyard though they were in your hand. If a card would be put into your graveyard from anywhere, remove it from the game. Instead, I would like to pass it.
That's such a good card for you.
I know, right? It's a blessing and a curse. In your upkeep,
Oh, I saw it.
Yes?
I would like to cast an instant. I think I return the favor and cast a Volt Charge.
17. What are you proliferating?
Everything.
Well done.
I chose Chaos. If a card will be put in my graveyard from anywhere, remove it instead.
I will draw a card. So Vince, there's a rule that is saving your life right now. Because we have infinite mana, and this is a devil's play. I can flashback it for red, and X. I can deal X damage to target creature or player. And I could deal you 10,000 billion damage. But in Judge Tower, X is always 5.
If it can be.
I will deal you 5.
I will take 5.
How much are you at now?
15.
Well done. You passed the test.
Past basic math.
I'll play a Nivik Cyclops. It's a defender, it's a Cyclops, it's a 1/4, and whenever I cast an instant or sorcery spell, Nivik Cyclops gets +3/+0 until end of turn and can't attack this turn as though it didn't have defender. I'll play another World Atlas. It's an artifact. If I tap it, I put a charge counter on it. Or if I tap it, each player draws a card for each charge counter on another World Atlas. Now, I have 2 options. I can choose Chaos and start putting charge counters, and we draw. Or I could always tap it, and we all draw 0. I chose Chaos. I'll put a charge counter on it. If I survive till then,
What a surprise.
Well chosen.
I will play a Dense Foliage. Creatures can't be the target of spells or abilities. Or, no, just spells. I will pass the turn over to Yam.
All right, upkeep.
I will do I will have to do an upkeep check. In your upkeep, I will cast a Thought Scour targeting Vince.
Yeah, sure. I'm going to resolve the first part of the spell. There's a Victim of Night and a Howling Mine.
Wonderful. I will draw a card
Howling Mine would
from
be
the
so
Thought
fun.
Scour and exile Thought Scour. And that was my turn.
Draw. I will go up to 21. With that trigger on the stack, I will not go to 21. I will not go to 21 yet. With that trigger on the stack, I will cast Vanish into Memory, removing I will not do that.
What happened here?
Yamin sneezed.
There's just a big old sneeze, and then I'm at 21.
Oh, okay. Interesting. So draw step?
I will move to my main phase, where I will cast one of the beloved cards of this format, Heartwood Storyteller. Whenever a player plays a non-creature spell, each of that player's opponents may draw a card. And remember, if you can do something, you gotta do it. I will cast Norn the Wary. Whenever a player plays a spell or a creature attacks, remove Norn the Wary from the game. Return it to play under its owner's control at the end of turn. Now, with both of these permanents on the battlefield, I will go into combat and I will attack Vince with this Horizon Chimera. But Norn is quite scared by that attack, so this ability will go onto the stack. He will
Where is he?
go exiled.
Oh,
Would you like to block?
I cannot block. I'll take 3 and go to 17.
All right. With that being done, I will pass my turn back, and Norn will make a reappearance.
Okay, well, upkeep.
I would like to do something.
Sure, I attempt to pass priority in my upkeep.
I will cast a Grixis Charm with the mode of all my creatures get +2/+0.
All right, I have triggers.
Go ahead.
All of your opponents draw a card, and my Norn makes a swift exit.
So how do you stack that?
Norn will make the exit first.
Smart. Okay, Norn's gone.
I'll draw a card.
I will draw a card.
So now I have a Grixis Charm on this stack, so I pass.
That is good.
I'll put a Forbidden Alchemy on the stack. I'll look at the top 4 cards of my library. I'll put one of them into my hand and the rest into my graveyard.
It's going to be me now then.
Yes.
Huh? Technically. Then I have no responses.
I don't know if but I'll take a risk. Counter target spell if no mana was spent.
I just said it out loud.
This is a target. You can target this. It just won't counter it.
It's correct.
That is correct. Vince, you're out of the game.
Well, I was going to lose anyway.
Yeah, luckily, you won't have to see that complicated turn.
You know what I just saved all of us from? The entire turn. It was Vince's turn. Now Vince isn't part of the game anymore.
Turn,
so the
even though
turn
both
just
of you are
ends.
playing spells.
The
So all the
stacks-
stuff is gone?
Yeah, our life totals reset. I go back to 20. And Norn never returns. There's no end step to trigger.
Oh no, he stepped
Lauren,
over.
he's stuck in the void.
By the way, you are not part of the game anymore.
I'm not saying a word.
You're looking at a graveyard.
Oh.
Actions speak louder than
I'll
words.
just shout to the viewers at home. How's it going, everybody?
I will go to my draw step. In my draw step,
Oh boy.
I would like to cast Reaping the Graves. It's an instant. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand with Storm. Now, I will target the Elite Inquisitor.
The storm trigger resolves.
I will return the Elite Inquisitor into my hand. And then, unfortunately, I can only cast one spell.
I'll untap. Would you like to take any actions?
No. I can't cast this. I already cast it.
Once per turn cycle. That is correct.
Actually, it shouldn't be in the graveyard.
This is not your point.
Yeah, man.
We're not in this game.
You have a chance.
So I get to
Like, this is technically correct, but it's not your work to do this.
It's literally correct, but I can't score it.
Yeah, exactly.
You also shouldn't go it.
I shouldn't have scored at all. We never drew a card. We never drew a card.
So you're fine, right?
Yeah, of course, nobody pushed the button.
Yaman gets the point. You shouldn't have scored.
Okay, round number
Everyone,
2.
draw your cards.
Who goes
Yaman
first?
has 1 point.
Loser
up.
goes first.
Upkeep, I would like to, with my priority, put renewed faith on the stack.
I would like to respond with reap what is sown. Put a counter on each of up to 3 targets.
What a great card.
I will reap what I sow. Nothing. I'm lazy.
I won't do anything about
Not me neither.
Okay, thanks. I'm on 26. I'm going to go to draw step now.
Well done.
In my draw step, I've drawn an instant, but I have no targets for it, so I'm not going to be casting it right now. I'm going to go to my main phase. So I'm going to cast Skull Clamp, and then I'm going to Mystic Melting my Skull Clamp. Destroy target artifact or enchantment, and I draw a card at the beginning of the next turn's upkeep. And then I'm going to cast Bygone Bishop. A 3-mana creature, it's a spirit cleric with flying, it's a 2/3. Whenever I cast a creature spell, convert mana for cost 3 or less, I investigate. It does not see itself because it's not in play before someone in the comment section says so. I'm now going to pass the turn, but before you do anything,
Already drew.
I've got a trigger that happens in your upkeep.
Yep. Go ahead.
I don't like how confident you sound. I'm going to cast Quicken.
Okay.
So the next sorcery card I cast this turn can be cast if it had Flash, and I draw a card. I'm going to draw this card, and
I'll draw.
continue.
I drew an Eye of the Storm, which I'm gonna play. Whenever a player plays an instant or sorcery card removed from the game, that player copies each instant or sorcery card removed with Eye of the Storm. For each copy, that player may choose no targets.
I'm going to Urtai's Trickery, Eye of the Storm, because I can counter a target spell if a kicker cost was paid for it. So it's a valid target, but it won't counter it.
I will play a Triad of Fates, a legendary creature. For 1, I put a fate counter on a creature. For a white, I exile type creature that has a fate counter and return to the battlefield at the end of turn. For a black and tap exile type creature that has a fate counter, a controller draws 2 cards. And an Air Servant, flying, tap type creature, flying for 3, and I will use it to tap itself.
Very smart.
Go ahead.
Anyone? I will play a Molder Slug. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player sacrifices an artifact. I will then play a Harvester of Souls. It has Death Touch, and whenever another non-token creature dies, you may draw a card.
All right. Good luck with that.
The thing about Judge Tower is I may not may. I have to.
It's one of the few formats in Magic where drawing a card is objectively the worst thing you can do.
I will then play Tattermunge Witch, which, is that really the name? Is this in English? Yeah. If I play Gruul, each blocked creature gets +1/+0 and gains trample until of turn. I will pay Gruul. I will finally play an enchantment. Each creature has, when this creature is put into a graveyard from play, choose target opponent. That player puts this creature card from that graveyard into play under his or her control at end of turn.
That's
I hope
amazing.
I read that. Yes, that's wonderful. I'll pass the turn.
I didn't expect us to make it to my turn, but I will go into my turn. If
You'll sacrifice an artifact?
it resolves, I will draw. I will cast Sunstrike Legionnaire. Sunstrike Legionnaire doesn't untap during your untap step. Whenever another creature comes into play, untap Sunstrike Legionnaire. Do I have to announce that every time?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Also, I can tap these to tap target creature with converted mana cost 3 or less. I will cast Kothfed Soul Hoarder. When that one resolves, this one triggers to untap. Whenever a permanent owned by another player is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. I will then cast Sinking Feeling, which is an aura, so I'll target the Triad of Fates. It grants the enchanted creature 1 mana, put a -1/-1 counter on this creature, untap this creature. Also, it doesn't untap anymore, so I'll put that on here. And then I'll cast Raging River. When you attack, non-flying defending creatures must be divided as opponent wishes between the left and the right sides of the river. You then choose on which side of the river to place each attacking creature, and attacking creatures can only be blocked by flying creatures or those on the same side of the river.
I would like to respond by activating this.
You will. With that being said, I'll pass the turn.
Oh, Judge Tower's interesting, isn't it? Okay, go to my upkeep.
You'll sacrifice one of your artifacts.
Right, trigger on the stack.
I'm fine with that.
Well, I'm passing priority on it. Okay, we're good. You've played too much Judge Tower. I'm going to draw a card. I'm going to cast Essence Sliver, which is a 4 mana, 3/3 sliver. And whenever a sliver deals damage, its controller gains that much life. It is not 3 or less, so I do not trigger Bygone Bishop with on the stack.
That resolves, right?
Resolves.
This untap.
Do people have to block if they can?
Yes.
So I'm going to go to combat, and I want the Bygone Bishop gone. So I'm going to move to combat, and I'm going to attack you, my friend, because you have a 6/6 flyer.
Be gone, Bishop.
Okay.
It was horrible.
So we have a block, and then we're going to go to damage.
Yeah.
As a state-based effect, this will die. I believe,
Triggers happen.
yes. So I'm going to place my trigger on the stack first, because it's first on, last off. I have a trigger because of your Endless Whispers.
Well remembered.
So the trigger is going to go on the stack, and does Endless... I'm going to read it, because I have to trust you.
I'm going to read it. It's a good thing.
So I'm going to choose a target opponent. I'm going to choose Toralf.
Yes.
He touched his,
own
no, but he
nose.
touched his nose, and in England that means me, please. And it's in the graveyard with the trigger on the stack.
Whenever another non-token creature dies, I may draw a card. Unfortunately, I must.
Stop. I'll put my trigger above it. Whenever a permanent owned by another player is put into a graveyard, I draw a card and I lose 1 life. I'll draw a card, I'll lose 1 life.
Do you have any responses to me drawing a card?
Nah.
What the...
It has phasing.
Oh, cool. I'm going to try to go to the end of my turn and resolve this delayed trigger from this Endless Whispers. Bygone Bishop will come into play under your control.
Thank you very much.
I'm passing priority at my end step. Are we going to your upkeep?
What?
Yes?
A creature's entered the battlefield.
I like how you thought it.
You even crap with the buzzer.
Yeah, because he thought you wanted to anger me, and he thought there's nothing wrong, so you wanted to pressure me as well.
Nice.
All right.
Wah, wah. Oh, yeah, bye.
Yeah.
We're in my upkeep, right? As far as I've remembered now.
Yes.
You want to make me sacrifice an upkeep? I will have responses.
Yes,
As revenge, I will put a fate counter on your Molder Slug
it has a fate counter.
Hang on, where are we?
in my upkeep.
This shouldn't be tapped.
Oh no, but that leaves you with one measly little permanent.
What a crazy format.
I go into my upkeep. I sacrifice my artifact. I go to draw. Each block creature gets +1/+0 and gains trample until end of turn. Thank you. I will play a Palisade Giant. All damage that would be dealt to you or another permanent you control is dealt to this guy instead. I'll play a Beekeeper. Is this English? It is. It has flying and phasing. Vince, your sliver is in trouble.
If you 20 damage me, do I win?
No, you lose the game.
Okay.
I will attack you with all 3 of these creatures. None of these have haste.
I'm going to block the 5/5 Death Touch with my 3/3 Essence Sliver.
Well done.
Wait, do you want to go to damage? Should we go to damage?
Yes.
Okay, I get a trigger. Whenever slivers deal damage, its control gains that much life. So I have a trigger on the stack,
Okay.
and we also have to resolve.
Palisade Giant.
Oh, I shouldn't have said anything, but yes, 6 damage down to 14, and I gain 3 from the sliver trigger, which goes up to 17.
That's very good math.
I just didn't want to lose to a math question.
A creature died.
Oh, it's my trigger. I get
creature
to
died.
choose. It's my trigger. I get to choose. Thank you for reminding me.
I also get a trigger.
Yes, yours goes on first. Mine goes on. I'm going to target you.
So, Harvester of Souls. Whenever another non-token creature dies, I may draw a card. It's a heightened awareness for context. When it comes into play, discard your hand. That would have been really good on turn 1. At the beginning of your draw step, draw a card. I'll play a heightened awareness. I would like to pass a turn.
I'm going to resolve my delayed trigger from the enchantment I can't see over the stack of judge questions. I'll proceed to my upkeep.
Sacrifice an artifact.
I'm going to resolve it. I'm going to draw a card. I'm going to cast a water elemental, and I must kick it as per the rules of both hip hop. And I also kick this. So it's a flying 3/4 for 5 mana. It's an elemental. And when it comes to play, if I pay the kicker cost, return all other creatures to their owner's hands, and I skip my next turn. So we will resolve this trigger. You put all creatures you control, other than this, all creatures, into your hand.
Into their owner's hand. Who owns the Essence Sliver?
Me.
You get an Essence Sliver.
And then I'm going to cast an Essence Sliver. And I'll pass it.
Untap. Upkeep. Beginning of my draw step. I'll draw a card.
Sure. So you put trigger and resolve it, yeah.
Yes. I will draw a card for turn. I will play a Merchant of Secrets. When it enters the battlefield, I draw a card. Oh no! I'll play a Molder Slug.
Sure.
We know this. I remind you all the time. I'll play a Palisade Giant.
Sure.
I will play a Meletus Charlatan. If I pay 3 and tap it, the controller of target instant or sorcery spell copies it. That player may choose new targets for the copy. I will play a Golgari Decoy. All creatures able to block Golgari Decoy do so. I will play a Tattermunge Witch. I will pay 2, so that each blocked creature gets +1/+0 and gains trample until end of turn. I will play a Breezekeeper. I will play a Harvester of Souls.
Sure.
My collection and I will pass the turn to you.
So I'm going to skip my next turn.
On my upkeep, I will sacrifice an artifact.
Sure.
Breezekeeper will phase out.
Sure.
Draw.
For what?
For my heightened awareness.
Sure.
My awareness is so heightened. I'm going to draw for turn.
Yep.
Each block creature gets +1/+0 and gains trample until end of turn.
Sure.
I'll play Mind Unbound. At the beginning of your upkeep, put a lore counter on Mind Unbound, then draw a card for each lore counter on it. I don't know if I'll have an extra turn here.
If you can get through this rules thing, you might 20 me at some point.
It is distinctly possible.
That is the reward.
I'll play Wildest Dreams. XX will be 5 each. Return 5 target cards from your graveyard to your hand, exile Wildest Dreams. Before that, Meletus Charlatan will copy it.
So you have 2 copies on the stack right now.
Yes.
Each X equals 5.
Yes.
What are your targets for the first one before you copy it?
The same as the second. I will target Soulclimb, Renewed Faith, Urtai's Trickery, Mystic Melting, and Reap What Is Sown. The copy resolved. It's exiled. The second one fizzles. I will Mystic Melting my Endless Whispers.
So you put it on the stack.
I will put this on the stack. Attempt to Urtai's Trickery it. Counter target spell if a kicker cost is paid for. Oh, that would have been so good there. I will cycle this to gain 2 life. This on the stack. I will cast Reap What Is Sown to put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 3 target creatures.
Can you declare targets for me?
This one, this one, and this one. I will put a +1/+1 counter on each of these. I'll gain 2 life, 22. And I'll draw.
Yes.
Darn it. With this on the stack, Puncture Blast your Sliver. It is an instant that has Wither, so it deals damage in -1/-1 counters, and deals 3 damage to target creature or player.
So we're going to resolve that. My SS Sliver will go to the graveyard, and I'll place where is it? A trigger on the stack.
Yes.
I'm going to target you.
Who has to remember this at the end of my turn? You do? All right. I'll make sure to do a lot of confusing stuff.
Okay, cool.
Maybe I'll do things you can't forget.
Shall we just try and resolve the stack before we do
Okay.
that?
I draw a card.
Ah! I was hoping you were going to forget that bit because you're too busy waving your arms around, but you remembered.
Urtai's Trickery is going to attempt to counter the Mystic Melting.
Sure.
Mystic Melting destroys target artifact or enchantment. This is an enchantment.
Yes. That's how you could target it.
And then, at the beginning of my next turn's upkeep, I draw a card.
Okay.
I'm going to do something so I remember.
Okay.
I will never forget this.
The
Now,
Remembrance Fez.
this is destroyed.
Yes.
The creature had the...
Abilities.
So you still have to remember it.
Correct.
Hopefully that just distracted you enough.
I've never seen someone play Judge Tower with arm waving and a sleeve Fez before, but
It's
here
a
we
new
go.
meta. I'll return this to your hand. With Silent Departure. I will play a Skull Clamp. I will equip it onto the Harvester of Souls.
Sure.
Which creatures entered the battlefield this turn? Oh, none of them, because I passed a turn, and then they came back. That's good.
Do I die to combat damage? I'm going to be livid.
I'm going to attack you
Okay.
with Harvester of Souls.
And the skull clan.
If you get the,
2/7
if you get the
Palisade
number
Giant.
out loud wrong,
You can mock me as much
That
as
is
you
wrong.
want. A 1/1 Merchant of Secrets, a 2/2 Golgari Decoy, a 3/2 Tattermunge Witch, and a 5/7 Molder Slug.
what's the total power coming at me?
That would be for 20 damage.
That can't be how you win a game of... Sure.
Fair old magic. I didn't even need to draw the card.
Oh, that's so bad. Oh, okay, sure.
All right.
I'm going to win this one.
I'm in my upkeep.
Will you? I believe in you.
I passed priority in my upkeep.
I'm going to put Pulse of the Grid on the stack, which says draw 2 cards, then discard a card from your hand. Then if an opponent has more cards in hand than you, return Pulse of the Grid to its owner's hand.
Oh, that's a fun one. I'm okay.
I'm also fine with this.
I'm going to put Pulse of the Grid into the Hang on. What the hell is this?
We're just playing on with your security.
The shark's in the water.
So I must resolve it. Draw 2, then discard a card. Then, okay. So I'm going to draw 2 and discard a card. And I discard Filigree Fracture because it makes me draw a card, which is bad in this format, and it also blows up an enchantment or artifact, which is also bad if I want you guys to lose your own abilities.
And unfortunately, we all have 3 cards.
All right, I'd like to move to my draw. Me wanting to cast things will start out with the Knight of the Holy Nimbus. A 2-mana 2/2 that has flanking, and if Knight of the Holy Nimbus would be destroyed, regenerated. For 2 mana, Knight of the Holy Nimbus can't be regenerated this turn. Only any opponent may play this ability.
It resolves.
Okay, cool.
I will then cast a Diviner's Wand, which is a tribal artifact wizard equipment, which is a long time play. Equipped creature has, whenever you draw a card, this creature gets +1/+1 and gains flying until end of turn. And 4 mana, draw a card. Whenever a wizard creature comes into play, you may attach Diviner's Wand to it and equip 3.
I'm going to attempt to activate this because opponents can activate it. So I'm going to activate this. I'm going to hold priority, and then I'm going to target it with Gilded Strike, which gives it first strike +1/+0, and I'm going to draw a card.
I would like to activate this.
I would like to activate this.
So this really can't be regenerated this turn.
Not this turn.
And I'm going to draw off Gilded Strike.
This wand enters the battlefield, and I would like to activate its ability, targeting my knight to equip it. However, before that ability resolves, I'd like to Ancient Grudge my own wand. Unless there are any responses, these 2 cards will go into the graveyard. I will then cast Season, Perverter of Truth. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, it's still my trigger, but that player loses 2 life and draws 2 cards. Pass the turn.
I go to my upkeep.
You do, and I have a trigger.
Okay, so we're going to resolve that trigger. I'm going to draw 2 cards and lose 2 life, going to 18. I'm going to draw in my draw step. I'm going to cast Advice from the Fae, which says, look at the top 5 cards of my library. If you control more creatures than the other player, I'm going to put 2 of those cards into my hand. Otherwise, put 1 of them into my hand and put the rest at the bottom of the library in any order. So, I'm going to look at the top 5 cards of my library. Okay, so I'm taking Kederic Leviathan. I'm putting this in the graveyard. I put these on the bottom in any order. I don't really care. I'm now going to cast Arbiter of the Ideal, which says whenever Arbiter of the Ideal becomes untapped, reveal the top card of your library. If it's an artifact, creature, or land card, I put it into play with a manifestation counter on it. That permanent is also an enchantment in addition to other types. That's fun.
Sounds ideal.
I'm then going to cast Blind Hunter, which is a flying, haunting creature. We'll go through that when it happens. Or when it comes into play, or the creature it haunts is put into a graveyard, target player loses 2 life and gains 2 life. So I'm going to trigger. I'll put the trigger on the stack targeting you.
So I go to 18 and you go...
22, baby.
You lost 2 life at the beginning of your turn. This is not an easy game.
What a terrible way to lose Magic. Right, I'll put those in exile.
This game mode is so... Upkeep.
Wait.
There's a good trigger for you. Card advantage, Toffel. You lose 2 life and you draw 2 cards.
I will draw a Fleeting Distraction and a Terror. In my upkeep, then, I will cast a Terror targeting the Knight of the Holy Nimbus. And in response, I will cast a Fleeting Distraction targeting Zizan. This one says, target creature gets -1/-0 and have turn, draw a card. And Terror says, destroy a non-black, non-artifact creature of your choice. It can't be regenerated. I will draw from Fleeting Distraction, so Terror resolves.
All right, so there is a replacement effect, but I guess it can't be regenerated.
Then, I would like you to say your trigger.
My trigger?
Did you mean replacement? Because it didn't mean replacement. It's a trigger. It triggers. It just doesn't do anything.
No, that's not a trigger.
If Knight is just, where's the instead?
That can't be a trigger because then it's destroyed.
If we look it up though, Torf loses.
We will do some research. At the end of this loading screen, one of these 2 players will be out of the game.
We did a judge call on my Discord. We had 3 answers from Avery, Forge, and the Eros. All 3 of them agree it is a replacement effect. It was also pointed out that it can't work as a trigger because it'd already be in the bin and can no longer regenerate.
What do you mean it can't work?
Because once it's in the graveyard, Regenerate doesn't pull it back into play. Regenerate just removes it from combat and takes all damage
That's
off
how
of
we played it as children. No, okay, Jamin, well done. You even said replacement effect, yeah, it's good.
That means, Yaman, it's you and I.
It is.
You're playing for the biscuits.
Match point.
The biscuits. Is that all you get in Britain?
Biscuits for
Well,
winning.
if you only have tea, biscuits is the fun part.
There's cowboy music playing right now.
There's
I can do that because I edited it.
I'm actually playing it with my feet under the table on a guitar.
upkeep trigger.
Well played. I'm at 18. I will draw 2
Watch
cards.
out if you get too low.
I will draw for my turn. This table is only big enough for the one of us. It was so awkward that we were 4. I will play a Salvage Titan. I may sacrifice 3 artifacts rather than pay Salvage Titan's mana cost. That won't come up. Remove 3 artifact cards in your graveyard from the game. Return Salvage Titan from your graveyard to your hand. There's 1 artifact, but there is also an Ancient Grudge. I will destroy target artifact by flashing it back. I'm targeting Salvage Titan. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
It's dead. I will play a Pillory of the Sleepless on your Sizon Perverter of Truth. It can't attack or block. It has stuff on your upkeep, but that's okay, you won't get there. Because I'll Ray of Revelation it. Destroy target enchantment.
Sure.
I will suspend a Nilith.
Yes, that one. I remember.
That really sounds like a bad idea.
Because whenever a card is put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, if it is suspended, you may remove a time counter from it.
But this way he pays less mana for it.
it's
very
too late.
good.
I went down this road. I chose this path.
No takes backsies.
Not when this town is too small for the 2 of us. I will play a Riptide Director. It's a 2/3 wizard. Luckily, I don't need to pay 4 to draw a card for each wizard I control because it has summoning sickness.
Sure does.
I will then play Permeating Mass. It's a 1/3. Whenever Permeating Mass deals combat damage to a creature, that creature becomes a copy of Permeating Mass. I believe I may pass the turn.
During my upkeep, I draw some cards because that's how I roll. Still during my upkeep, I'll cast a Ghostfire targeting you.
I remove a suspend counter.
Well remembered. I will move into my draw. I will cast a Possessed Nomad, which is a 4 mana 3/3 and it has Vigilance and Threshold. It has +1/+1, is black, and has 3 mana, tap, destroy target white creature. I assume those are more than 7
Yes.
cards. So it is now black and has this activated ability. I will also cast an Underworld Coinsmith, which is a 2/2 enchantment creature, which when it enters the battlefield under my control, I gain 1 life, or when another enchantment enters the battlefield under my control, I gain 1 life. It triggers, and in response to its own trigger, I will pay 2 mana, pay 1 life, and make each opponent lose 1 life.
I lose 1 life.
I will head into combat and attack you with my season.
I'm so sorry. I hope you are enjoying this because it's come to an end.
Ah, no, yes.
There's a Ray of Revelation in the graveyard.
Yeah, there is.
And this is an enchantment.
Yep. I should have cast that.
Personally, I think it sucks that Carl won, because one of his points wasn't even because of rules violations. It was for a critical massive damage.
But technically, he won. And in this case, in case of Judge Tower, that's the most important kind of winning. The technicality win.
I guess it is, yeah.
And technically, you can also find Vince on a bunch of other platforms. Which are the most
That's not even
important
technical.
ones?
Literally, I'm on youtube.com/Peasant Kenobi. I also Twitch stream now and again, more in the new year. And I'm also on like Instagram and Twitter and stuff. But mainly, please watch my YouTube videos.
If I want to see future Judge calls on your Discord, how would I go about
Oh
that?
yeah, if you subscribe to me on patreon.com/Peasant Kenobi for $2 a month, you can join my Discord server. We do leagues on our ring now. We do Warhammer tabletop leagues and all sorts of stuff via simulation. And also, if you want to do a judge call, you can call judges with the @JudgePing on there as well.
Thank you so much for joining us
Thanks
today.
for having me.
And we'll see you in the next video.
And also, I hang out. I even workshop my thumbnails in the main lobby and get really bad feedback that isn't helpful. Sometimes people are like, I won't click a video with a face in it. And you're like, but you do. You do. We all do it.
The stats speak against you.
Yeah, exactly.